Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So welcome back everyone. We are continuing on Pauri 24. If we remember from last time, we talked about the 4 stages of enlightenment, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji then went on to express what is the experience of someone who's gone through the 4 stages and lost their sense of self-identity. We talked about the rivers that had merged back into the ocean to the point where the river was no longer recognizable, and it was just the ocean that was being experienced. What is that like? What are the words? What are the feelings? What is the experience of that? Guru Nanak Dev Ji talked about the experience being that of infinity, limitlessness. Guruji began by talking about their expression as being one of praise, endless praise. Ant na sifti, gehan na ant. Praises do not end. No end to praise. Praises do not end. Ant na karane den na ant. There is no end to the doings, the creativity. No ends to its gifts. Ant na vekhan sunan na ant. It sees all, it hears all, it is the eyes of everyone. We use the analogy of the stage, the play, but all the actors are in fact one. Every character is being played by that one same actor. So Guru Nanak continues to express this wonder-struck perspective of the egoless state. Guruji continues, Antna jape kya man mant. Ant means limit. Antna, no limit. Jape. The word jape means to understand. Antna jape. There is no limit to the understanding. Kya man mant. Mant here comes from the word mantri. Mantri, which means that person who is an advisor to a king. That is the word mantri. We use even today in Indian government, every minister is called a mantri. And what they advise is called mantar. Their decisions, they are the decision makers. They are the ones who come up with all the policies, all the rules, all the decisions. So the word mantra means mantra, which means decision. It comes from the word mantri, which is that decision maker, that advisor, that special advisor who comes up with all the rules. Antna jape kya man mant. Guruji is saying that there is no end to the understanding of what decision is happening in the mind. So here, the mind here is not talking about the mind of the individual. Remember, the individual is now no longer there. The individual is gone. This is now that divine one, Nobody knows what decisions are being made, why the decisions are being made. Even though you have merged into that oneness, even though it is now so close to you, it is a part of you, it is you. Even though you may have such a connection with that oneness, it doesn't mean that you know everything about that oneness. There is still a limit to your expression and your experience of that oneness. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says in Gurbani time and time again, Tera ant na paya. I cannot know your limits. Ape jane aap. Only you know yourself. Even someone like Guru Nanak Dev Ji has to acknowledge that ultimately the oneness knows itself. The individual can never know everything. So here it's talking about antana jape. There is no end of understanding. Still, the limited individual cannot know all the ways of the One, all the decisions that it makes, the purpose behind actions. And more importantly, these are the kind of questions that we ask when we are within our separated self. When we are separated from the One, then we ask such questions. Why? Why has the universe decided to do these things? But at this stage, there is no one left to ask those questions. So if we take this back to ourselves, if we think about ourselves for a moment, every decision that we make in life is an attempt to preserve ourselves in some way, is an attempt to look after ourselves in some way. Our life, our family, our reputation in society, to preserve our thoughts, our lifestyle. We do every action to preserve our life. So the greater the threat to our life, the greater a problem seems. And if we look at problems in our life, we always seem to be able to find someone else to blame for those problems. It's always somebody else's fault. There's always an external that we can blame for that. And we need someone to blame. And when we can't find someone to blame, when we can't understand the scenario, when we can't find any rational explanation, when we can't accept the outcome, then it must be God who takes the blame. And we may go as far to say that if there was a God, then He wouldn't do this to me. So the very existence of God is being questioned when troubles come in our life. It is as though the existence of God depends on whether He is doing nice things to you. If He does nice things to you, you're willing to accept that there is a God. As soon as things start going wrong, then we have to question, well, maybe this guy doesn't exist. If there is a God, why do bad things happen? This is probably the most common question that mankind faces. And this is the biggest problem that we have created when we create this imaginary character called God. He can't live up to our standards. We can accept mankind being flawed. We can accept all the people in positions of power making mistakes. But surely not Mr. God. And He is our father figure. He is our protector. So why would He do bad things to us? These are the kind of questions we ask when we can't understand the decisions that the universe is making. And nobody wants to accept the decisions of the universe. Nobody wants to take that step, that bigger leap that says, actually everything the universe is doing is fine. Nobody wants to accept the universe at every moment. But what Guruji is saying here is that the universe has no one to ask. When it makes a decision, it has no one to consult. It seeks no one's permission. And only it knows itself. We even hear people saying, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. What are we saying when we say that? Really what we're saying is, I can't really understand or explain why something is happening right now, so I'm going to hope that there's a good outcome at the end. So it's a coping mechanism. And we say it in Punjabi and we say it in every language. It's not restricted to English. Ehde vich vi pala hona. There must be some reason for doing this. So what we're saying is, right now, it doesn't make sense. The outcome doesn't seem to fit within our notion of reality. So we'll just assume that life is always meant to be good, and if it's not good right now, let's just keep a hope that it will be good. And it's a way of maintaining a belief in this Mr. God. Even though what it looks like quite clearly is that Mr. God is doing something wrong to you, you say, well, there must be a good reason behind it. This is still not accepting Hukam. Hukam means that which is happening is happening. It is neither good nor bad, it just is. By saying there must be a good in it, there must be a reason for it, what you're saying is right now it doesn't feel good. Right now I'm not willing to accept the outcome. So I'm going to hope that the outcome presents itself. The real reason behind it presents itself in the future. I can't see the positive in it now, but I'm going to hold on to this lie that I tell myself, that there is a positive in the end somehow, and I'm just going to keep looking for that. That's not accepting Hukam. Hukam is what is happening is happening. At every moment, we don't need to look for a positive outcome. We don't need to know that something is going to turn out well for us. Because within that is a duality. There is a giver, Mr. God, and there is a receiver. And as long as He's giving us good stuff, we're willing to accept that He's there. But when His gifts run out, when the relationship turns sour, then we're willing to walk away. This is not the meaning of Hukam. And the very first question that Guru Nanak Dev Ji answers, Kiv sachiara hoye, kiv kure tutte pal, Hukam razai chalana. Walk on that path of that divine will. Don't waver from that. So, Guruji, when he talks about Ant na jape kya man mant, the man mant, that decision of that divine, the divine mind, is now no longer being questioned. The individual has accepted that I cannot know the divine decision. I can't know why the decision is being made. But I know that I'm no longer a victim of that decision. That divine decision is not doing something to me. It is not the oppressor, I am not the victim. The universe is simply dancing. And sometimes the dance is slow and calm, and sometimes the dance is fast and turbulent, and it causes a storm all around it. Think of a tornado. It is a dance. Nobody ever says, what a beautiful tornado. We say, what a beautiful sunshine. What a beautiful rainbow. What beautiful snow. But isn't there beauty in a tornado? Isn't there beauty in a forest fire? We can't see that because we see every scenario as a victim, how it affects us. If it pleases our mind, if it pleases our eyes, we say it's beautiful. If it affects us in some way, our body. So this is what we mean, that everything that we do is a method of self-preservation. We're trying to look after ourselves. And if the universe seems to be doing something to disrupt our self-preservation, then we resist, we fight back. Let go of your self-preservation. This is now the voice of someone who has lost that desire to preserve themselves. They have voluntarily given themselves up. That river has voluntarily surrendered itself to the ocean. The river doesn't exist once it goes back into the ocean. This is nothing less than voluntary suicide. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, "Joto prem khilan ka chao, sir tar tali gali mere aao." If you want to play this game of love, lovingly give your head. What does Guru Gobind Singh Ji ask for? He asks for your head. Voluntary, at every moment saying, it was never mine to begin with. So, antna jape kya man mand. We cannot know the decision of the universe, and we don't want to know. We have no need to know. It just is. Antna jape kita akar. Antna jape, no end to understanding that which is created and the creation. Kita, that which is being done, and akar, that which is being created. End is not understanding created creation. There's no limit to us understanding the universe, the created world. Scientists continue to try and understand the mechanics of the universe. They may be able to understand the movements. They may be able to understand the life cycles of all things created. But what they cannot understand is the reasons, the motivations. When will it stop? What makes it move? What has set the earth on this continuous trajectory around the sun? What keeps it moving? What is the force behind it that just makes it continuous to move? We may know that it moves, and we can calculate how fast and how many turns a second and how many times a year. But the further and further science goes, the further and further it searches, the more questions that get revealed. At no point is a scientist going to turn around and say, everything that we needed to know we've learnt, we've stopped. Everywhere they look, there's more questions. And even the mechanics of your own body, your own self, your birth. We know how the body grows in the womb of the mother. But when does life enter into that? We can see cells and cells dividing and multiplying. But at what point does life enter? What does that look like? What happens when life leaves the body? These are the things that are beyond our understanding. When does consciousness come into us? What is the nature of aliveness? Where has it come from? When did it enter into your body? And why have we been created this way? Why do we have a mind? Why do we have thoughts? Why do we have an ego? What purpose does it serve? What is the function of these things? Remember that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has already told us that you can know quite a lot. In the Suniya Shabads, Guruji said, Suniya tarat taval akas. One who goes into deep listening to that divine sound of that Ong within them, listening to that Guru, that wisdom, that Gyan, that knowledge, you get a lot of understanding. Suniya tarat taval akas, Suniya deep lo patal, the earth, the skies, the world and the higher worlds and the lower worlds. But you don't know the end of it. It is limitless. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not contradicting what he said before when he talked about what you can know. You can get an appreciation for these things. Guruji talked about Suniye Jog Jugat Tan Ped. You learn some of the secrets of the body. But you cannot know everything. In fact, Guruji is confirming what he said right at the beginning. Hukmi hovan akar, hukam na kahya jaye. With the hukam, with that divine order, akar, creation occurs, but the why can never be known. It doesn't mean that you can say everything about it.